Okay. Well, hello everyone. Thank you for the introduction. As you understood, my name is Boyan. I'm a 3D artist from Chaos. And today I'm going to show you how we are going to explore in real time three different projects that I've prepared for this event. One will be a project that I did by myself specifically for this event. Another one will be a very exciting new product that we're developing at Chaos. And the third one will be a big project that me and my team created for one of our release videos. So before I tell you all about that, I want to tell you a little bit about what I do and what I have done so far. As mentioned in the introduction, I started as a game designer. I studied in Saxion University in the Netherlands. And when I graduated from my university, I was specializing in character creation, making animations, rigging, and storytelling. So this was my big dream was to become a character artist. But then I met Chaos, and I started an internship there. And after some time, I understood that there is another medium that I really liked. And, the clicker. And that medium was actually architectural visualizations. And this is something that in the beginning I was not very passionate about because it was very different from what I was used to doing. But slowly I started seeing the beauty in making visualizations as well. But I never forgot about making characters because at Chaos we have very diverse projects. Sometimes we make tutorials for different programs. For example, we make tutorials for SketchUp, but we also make tutorials for Maya. And Maya is mainly a VFX program. So I made this tutorial about I think it was the V-Ray frame buffer. And the goal here was just to show a feature. But I didn't just want to show a feature, I wanted to tell a little story because I think it gives a bit more to the viewer if it's an interesting story. And in my free time, I also do characters, and I do stuff like this. My goal with these projects are just to have fun for one day. I'm not giving myself more time. It's just a couple of hours, maybe 2-3 hours. And whatever pops in my head and I decide to do, that's what I go with. And in this case, it's two bananas that don't really want to be separated. And they're a bit afraid. And here I made caterpillars that are training hard to become butterflies because this is their goal in life. And yeah, so this is about me and about Chaos. Chaos is a world leader in 3D visualization technologies. We have a variety of different products that vary from real-time to different ray tracing technologies. And we're a global team all around the world. We're 700 plus people. And actually, our biggest office is here in Sofia. It's actually near the Expo Center. And there is where me and my team are developing the newest videos, marketing videos, and tutorials that our users are enjoying. And we're doing this for a variety of different fields. As you can see, architecture, interior design, product design, automotive, visual effects, all of these different industries are using our products to develop their ideas. And today I'm going to show you some easy ways that you can visualize your projects with the help of our tools. A little bit about the 3D world, and then we're diving into the projects. So I just wanted to put a frame of reference before I start showing you the projects. The 3D world is a very interesting and diverse place where you have a lot of different jobs that you can do. And this is part of a much bigger pipeline. But these are the main, I would say, parts of the pipeline that we're going to explore today. Concepting an idea, modeling, which is the model, usually the modeling artists are doing, animators, they're usually working with riggers and control making, lighting, shading, grooming, VFX, and rendering compositing. So all of these different segments are very important in creating a project. So let me show you how I approached the first project and how I was able to develop it. So the first project is Project Robot Pilot. This is a project that actually was developed by a colleague of mine, the render you see here. And it's a boy robot that is very excited to fly his plane. And this idea was developed to show a new feature of a new update that we had for V-Ray. And the concept was the image you see on the left side. Our concept artist drew this, and then a colleague of mine created the render on the right. And this project was really cool. I didn't get to work on it, sadly, but I really wanted to because I wanted to make an animation of this robot. I was seeing him how he's flying with his little airplane in the sky, and things happened, so I couldn't work on the project, but I kept the idea of making some type of an animation. And when I understood about the event, this was the first thing I had in my mind was, okay, I have to make it. I have to make this and show how you can, the whole process of making animation, making an actual little short sequence of this character. So the first thing I did after having the character already modeled was to rig it. And rigging is, I've prepared some video demonstrations all throughout the presentation. So I think it will be a bit more visually interesting. So again, I have the robot already set up, and now I'm putting him joints. And this is what rigging is all about. It's putting different type of joints all around the body that correspond to different parts of the character, for example. And in this case, I'm just showing that, let's say, the chest joint is responsible for controlling only the chest area, and the same thing goes for the knees. So imagine this as the skeleton of your character. And after developing this skeleton, you have all the movements that you need to start animating your character. But there's one crucial point that is missing, and that is the controls. So in order to move all those joints and to make the animation more smoother and to have limits to how far can you move something. For example, this mouth cannot move to his eyebrow because the rig is constraining it, so it looks a bit more realistic. Animators usually work with riggers to test that limitation and to make sure that everything is physically accurate, or if it want to be exaggerated, then that would be an additional control. And the way that I solved this problem is with a program called Cascadeur. And Cascadeur is actually a free program that allows you to import the rig that you already I showed you that we created, and you can assign it to different body parts. For example, you have a hip, and you're going to assign it to the hip of this mannequin right there. And this will automatically create a rig for you that is, you can also see that you can put it for different fingers and twists and just make a very natural looking rig. And this is an amazing tool because Cascadeur allows you to create, as I said, physically accurate constraints to your rig. So nothing will look really out of proportion, or not out of proportion, but out of the ordinary. If you see, when I'm pulling his hand, like everything kind of comes with him. If you move up and down, everything moves fluently. And another cool thing about Cascadeur is that if something that shouldn't happen happens, as you saw, the legs went through the ground, it automatically tells you that this cannot happen because it takes the body weight, for example, of the character or the height, and it makes physically accurate estimates of where and how should the body move. And here I'm just doing a little animation to showcase how easy it is to actually move around the character and animate him. And actually, there is one more really interesting feature, is that there is an AI tool that allows you to, let's say you made this animation, he's wiggling a bit, waving up and down, but there's something off about his balance. Let's say he's a bit leaning or something. There's an AI tool that autocorrects that for physics, for actual physics, and how it should work in the real world. So yeah, just very simple, very easy to use. And by following these steps, I was able to create this animation sequence. And yeah, I wanted this robot to like kind of have this childish feeling of spinning around, flying in the air with his little airplane. But of course, there are some issues that I had to fix later, and that was with the joints of his arms, for example. As you can see, they're kind of popping out of the shoulder, but this is very easily fixable. In Maya, you just I will go, let's say, to a problematic frame somewhere in the beginning, and I will just find the joint. Let's say this is, I think, the shoulder joint, and correct it, and that's it. It's very, very simple fix. And when the animation was done, everything looked very nice. I made some small adjustments actually in Maya. I made it kind of a slow motion jump because I wanted it to have more air time. And that was for this part. The next part I wanted to do is the texturing. Because I already started making animation, I said, why not make a new texture? And I did the texturing in Substance Painter, really easy to use program. It allows you to immediately start painting all over your character. I just took a brush right now, or you can apply any material to it. You can take this material from a library, or you can make it you're by yourself and apply it to your character. And my goal in Substance Painter was to make this character a bit more alive, because I think that textures, the way that your character looks, like tells the story. Not only the movement, not only the props that the character has. And my idea with this robot was that he was kind of constructed from separate parts. He had a maybe some part from another robot, and then another part from another robot. And I had this idea that he's going to be kind of reliving someone else's two robots' lives, something like this. I had this idea. So slowly I started putting different materials together, and in the end he turned out to be something like this. And he was, to me, it felt more like a interesting. Yeah, he looked very unique, let's say. So after making the textures, it was time to put him some clothes. If you remember from the beginning, the first project, he had a little jacket on top, and I wanted to do him not a jacket, but a button-up shirt. And to do that, I had to create a shirt in Maya, and I had to make it the way that you create shirts in the real world. They have stitches. Let's say the shoulder is stitched from here, the back is stitched from here, and as you can see, this is my UVs, and I've specifically made it in this way because then we're importing that into Marvelous Designer. And Marvelous Designer is amazing. It has already presets of different clothing that you can apply to your models. But as you can see, those patterns, the way that I created my shirt, uh, oh, yeah, he's not moving with the shirt right now, but this is because we haven't simulated the whole clothing simulation. And right now, I'm going to show you what happens when you simulate a shirt. You can start pulling it, moving it around. And actually, Marvelous Designer is a program that is used by a lot of fashion industries to make their products, to show off some really interesting clothing that they cannot film in real life. And you have a lot of different options. You can add different materials, different textures. Here I added, I think, a wool material, and you saw that the shirt wrinkled because this is how it will actually interact in the real world. Or you can add some silk, the one that I'm going to use for this shirt. So it's a bit more loose, a bit more yeah, puffy. And the final thing we need to do after making sure that the material is proper is to add the simulation. And again, all you need to do, just click record, and the character starts moving with the shirt. And you see all the wrinkles, all the nice movement. You can even see that his shoulder kind of comes off a bit. And yeah, so after tweaking it for a while, I felt very comfortable with the simulation. So it was time to bring everything together, all the textures, the animation, the simulation. And that was, again, done in Maya. So one more thing, while I was making the cloth simulation, I somehow decided that he's not going to have an airplane, but he's going to have a skull. And now he is a dramatic theater artist who is spinning around, maybe something from Romeo and Juliet, I don't know. But I got this feeling, so I decided that this is what it's going to be. And this is actually another part of the way I approach making my art is I kind of go with the flow. If something seems right in the moment, then that's it. I just say bye to everything previous and I go with it. And this is what I did. I made a little environment for him, like he's on a stage, a very round stage. And he has an environment lighting, which is just a very subtle environment illumination, and he has a sphere light, which is for illuminating him on the back and a bit on the of the stage, and a spotlight, just like in the theater, where it follows the character all, wherever he moves. And here I'm just going to demonstrate how the light moves with him to simulate this effect of like him being the star. And I also made a dramatic beginning here, where in the beginning it turned off, everything is a bit dramatic, and then he starts moving and dancing and playing. And the final thing I actually did for the setup of before we render everything and see how it looks like is the camera animation, because it needed to be a bit dynamic. He's moving so much that he needs some dynamic camera. And I just found the most interesting poses, and I made sure that they're kind of coherent from one to another. And now we open V-Ray, our ray tracer, and I just did quick previews to see how the character looks in the environment. And I was feeling very happy with all the different shots and the way that they're kind of portraying him. I started liking more and more the idea of him being an actor than an airplane enthusiast. So the last thing that I wanted to change was the material of the clothing. And thanks to V-Ray's materials, they have a lot of different realistic properties, and one of them is the translucency effect. This is a two-sided material that made the shirt more like a cotton white shirt. And now I think I was ready for the final step, which was to actually visualize this. And I used Vantage. This is our real-time solution, which allows you to have the photorealistic ray traced environment and materials from V-Ray, but in real time. In Vantage, it's really easy to use. I just create a V-Ray scene of all the environment, everything in the character. It imports it in Vantage, and then we can start scrubbing through the timeline, see all the animations. I've set up everything for a preview, so I make sure that everything works very smoothly, very fast. And as you can see, I'm adding some volumetric environment. So now the actual spotlight is like creating these dust particles around him, making it a bit more dramatic. And you can add actually different types of post effects, or if you want color effects, color corrections, and so on. And when I felt comfortable with how the scene looked like, I exported this animation, and it looked something like this. So yeah, 10 seconds. In the end, actually, I was very happy with how it turned out for the time I had and the way that the project developed. So now I'm going to tell you about our company project, which is Project Arena. And this is a project we've been developing for a little over a year. And we are developing a virtual production set with the help of these LED screens. And we're using Vantage, that we were just exploring, as the background, because Vantage allows you to have animations in real time and to maybe have an environment moving while someone is on the set. It allows for a natural looking lighting and proper background. So for those of you who don't know what a virtual production set, it's widely used in the VFX industry and in TV and film, and they're doing this in order to create proper lighting and proper backgrounds for their characters. And Mandalorian is one of these cases. You can see Baby Yoda right there, and those characters right now, if it wasn't for the virtual production set, they'll be on a green screen. And the problem with the green screen is that when it's time to composite everything and add all the additional lights and take off the green spill, because this is a big problem with green screens, is that this reflective character, whenever he's on a background that's green, he will have green light casted on him, and then compositors have to edit that out. And the virtual production set just eliminates that, because not only you have the proper background, but you have the proper lighting. So I will show you a little clip of Vlado, one of the creators of V-Ray, talking about this virtual production set.
Thinking about the early days of the project, what did you find most exciting about using Vantage for virtual production?
The first time I went to a virtual production stage, actually it wasn't so much exciting as it was terrifying, because so many things could go wrong, and they did go wrong. The first day we spent fixing stuff, but eventually it did work. I was worried about the gen lock, about the camera tracking, because it was a different system from what we had in the office. But eventually, kind of everything came together and we managed to get some good shots done. So that was pretty cool.
Awesome. And we're about to see that because we've actually arrived.
Wow, that was fast.
Once you started testing at the stage, what stood out to you?
It was surprising for me that it was actually the little things that made or break the whole thing. Like we had to copy the software over several different machines. Also, people wanted to change stuff in the virtual world, like make certain parts brighter or move things around or change the lighting. And also you have to match the lighting of the real world to the virtual one. So for me, it was also surprising the number of people that are involved in a virtual production shoot. So it's not just the software, it's everything else that takes a lot of time as well.
It's the people, right?
Yes.
So yeah, very interesting stuff. I hope that one day we'll see Avengers on Vantage. That would be very cool. And yeah, I'm excited to see how far they're going to take this project. And really, maybe we'll start seeing it in movies soon. And now the final project I want to talk about is the release video that we did for V-Ray 6. And this is a big project that we did, the whole team, my whole team. And I want to tell you a little bit about it. So we started, before we started, we wanted to create a concept with a unique idea, show the new updates, which is very important for our job, because when we're making a release video, we're not making just something that looks very cool. We're also trying to show our users what is new in this update and what they can expect and how they can make their own projects. So we need to do that and to create an artistic and creative video, which is important. So everything started, of course, with the concept. And the concept was created by Encho Enchev. It was actually everyone, when we saw this idea with this house with legs that is walking around some terrain, we fell in love, and we knew that this is going to be the main attraction of this video, the main character. Yeah. So when we all agreed on this, we started designing it. So one thing we weren't very sure of how to approach is the legs, because the house looks very futuristic, but the legs, what are the legs gonna be? Are they gonna be very slim, or maybe in this version, or very bulky, cyberpunky? We were not sure, but at the end we sticked with the very slim version. I think it fit more the upper house. And the next part was to create the story. What is this house actually doing? Is it standing? Is it walking? So the idea was that it's somewhere high in the mountains, and it's actually hiking. It's traversing through very harsh terrain, going from one place to another, from dangerous cliffs, and it finds its place somewhere from high above to down below, and there is this resting spot where it just turns off his lights and it's all darkness. And we made this animatic to just have a very rough idea of what we wanted to show, what was going to be our idea. So yeah, most of the things are not moving, they're one color. This is okay, it's just a setup. And you can see the house is actually going slowly, moving around. You're seeing different environments. This was very important that we had to think about, okay, so what are going to be those environments, and so on. We have the interior of the house, the way that it's set up, the way that it's built. A lot of different shots. So actually, I'm not going to show you the whole animatic because it's a bit long. It is 16 shots, and we're a big team, but 16 shots is a lot of shots, and the house needed to be rigged, creating multiple environments, creating an interior, adding simulations and VFX. It was fine. It was okay. We got this. And we started off. A colleague of mine started modeling the legs of the house. So slowly, more detail and more detail and more detail, until we had the proper legs for the house. Here's a little turntable of that. I think it turned out amazing. And the next step was to rig it, to make sure that all those legs are moving properly, that all the pistons and all the joints that the house have are interacting with each other, which is actually also very important, because in order to kind of sell this house, this huge, probably tons of weight walking around, you need a very good, compelling animation. And here, just like in Maya, you have the bones. You see, those are the white things. And you have the controls on the bottom, these boxes and the circles. And they're controlling the whole leg, the way that it moves. And you can see that when you move the leg up and down, you see the pistons even start moving up and down. We had a lot of close-up shots, so this was necessary. We had to make sure that everything is connected, not just kind of connected. And yeah, we added a lot of different ways that you can move the house. And when that was done, the next part was to add the interior. And in the interior, we added with our 3D content library. We have a huge library of thousands of different 3D materials, models, and they're already like set up for production. So you just drag, drop it in your scene, and you can add different sofas, different chairs, vegetation. As you can see, I'm going to search for some plants, like alien-looking plants. Yeah, hundreds of different of models that you can add in your scene, and you can actually create a whole scene. I have made a bunch of tutorials how you can make a whole scene only with the Chaos Cosmos. That's all you need. It has doors and windows. Very, very, very cool library. And the final thing, I'm just going to add a material, and it's just find something that you like. In this case, it's a glass material. I want to put it on the floor because it's a bit white right now. And then just drag, drop it, and you're ready to go. So very easy. The next step after making the interior was to make the environments that I told you. And they were multiple. They were the rock environments on top and the environments on the bottom, like where the final resting spot of the house. And to do these environments, we were doing pre-visualization with Vantage. We put the house in some position. We start moving assets, moving the camera, finding the right angle, what we wanted in the scene. And it's very useful because you see everything again in real time. You can move the animation, you can change the lighting, you can add some atmospheric effects. And not only you can change it in Maya, but you can change it in Vantage. You also have that that possibility. And in this case, I'm just searching for the right atmosphere, the right lighting for this shot. And the idea I had was that it would be some type of a sunset. So I actually added a sun inside of Vantage and just manually adjusted it and, to a position that I like. You can add some color corrections to it. And in the end, you have some sort of a pre-visualization for your actual scene. So yeah, I think I added everything. I move around. You can see the house moving. Yeah, and then if you want, you can actually even render a little sequence. So to show to everyone, this is what I did. And yeah, and when we did this, we added different layers on top of layers on top of layers to make everything look even more realistic. And the final step was to add the simulations in VFX. As you can see, when the leg hits the ground, there's some dust happening, there are some rock particles falling, and we did this with the help of Phoenix. Chaos Phoenix, this is another program that it is our simulation software where you can add different types of presets for water simulations, dust particles like the one from the leg of the robot. You can add different fire simulations, explosions, and you can see here some foam splashing. Yeah, the dust particles. Melting candy, that's very important. Yeah, the explosions and fire tornadoes, yes, also very important. And when all of that was mixed together, all the different shots were made, the animations, we had our final product. Yeah, so cool stuff. uh, so that was it, actually. I hope you saw something interesting, maybe something you can try in your own work, maybe something from all these different robots. And yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Great job, actually. I like this very much. I'm just thinking about that house. Why don't we build it, actually?
Oh,
and
right?
have it?
It's such
Yeah.
a good idea.
Yeah, why not? It's great. I wanted to ask, all of these products, do they have like demo versions or student licenses? Could people try them out?
Yeah, there are student licenses, and people just if you're a student and you want to try out Vire or maybe Enscape or Corona, I think you can just apply through the Chaos site and have an education. What's it called? License. so you can try out the program and see what you can create.
Great, but I guess you have to have a very powerful PC at home to run those.
Not necessarily, actually. The animation you saw with the robot, the character robot, it was rendered with the 2080, which is I think a 6-year-old graphic card. So I think it's not that hard to render something.
Nice, thank you very much. I wanted to see if somebody has questions. Would you like to ask something, Boyan? All right, I guess all is clear then.
Yeah.
I thank you very much once again.
Yeah.
If you have questions to him, you can ask him in the meantime. And the next lecture will begin in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.